Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. So this is a video on the ownership preview of this my CBR250R. So this was asked by many of my subscribers. So till now I have ridden close to 20k kilometers and it's been 13 months with this beast. I have named him Red. You can see that I've called him Red because it is the abstract of red dragon. So yeah, let's get started. So first thing I want to talk about is the riding conditions. So I mainly ride this bike in city and a part in highway, and I have taken this machine to the off-roading also. So mainly when I talk about city riding, this is a perfect city rider. It has the right amount of torque and as well as the power, nothing more to intimidate and nothing less to cut off the fun also in the city riding conditions. And for an highway, this is a very good machine because the visor over there, it provides very good air cutting, and so it makes a very good tourer for highway rides. And for off-roading conditions, I won't suggest this bike anyway, just because this makes a poor off-roader. The suspension and the bike totally is not been meant for off-roading. So if you are planning for an off-roader, this is not at all a good choice. If you are planning for a city rider as well as a highway riding machine, then exactly this machine fit into your requirements. The second thing which I wanted to talk about this machine is the maintenance part. So basically the servicing is done in once in 6,000 kilometers or once in 6 months. So basically 2 services in a year. Apart from this, I do a regular checkup of this bike once in a month or once in 2 months. So basically the service will cost me around 2 to 3k per service for the 6k kilometers or the once in 6 months. And yeah, that costs around 2 to 3k without any other major replacements. I haven't met with any major replacements except my tires for this bike. The tires I've changed in 15,000 kilometers. For the monthly checkup, I spent around 200 rupees. What I do is that I do the chain lubrication and I check the brakes as well as the clutch adjustments, the chain slack and all these things for the monthly checkup. So it cost me around 200 rupees per month also. And what I do is that in a month I'll be doing it, and the second month I'll take it to the service center. So that's about the maintenance. Now talking about the competition on road, what I meant by competition is that how well this bike can compete with the other bikes and cars on the road. So talking about the cars, this bike can compete with a 1.5 liter car just like a Honda City or a Hyundai Verna. This can cope up with those kind of vehicles. I mean, I'm not talking about a road race or something like that. I always enjoy a friendly competition, so I engage in some friendly competition. I'm repeating it, I'm not talking about squid driving or something, but sometimes you give some good healthy competition to other people where you stop and wait for the other person. So those kind of competition, any car less than 1.5 liter is not a competition for this bike. And talking about the other bikes, there are no humiliation from any other lower cc bike except the KTM 200. If you are not comfortable in riding this bike and you are trying to ride against a KTM 200, like they are like performance machines, so definitely it has an upper hand on this bike. So that's about the competition on road. Now talking about the fuel efficiency, this bike is giving me 30 km per liter on the city conditions, and on highways it is giving me 35 km per liter. And I'm not a very relaxed rider. I always ride on the power gear. That means this bike, when you want to ride this bike, the correct RPM is 5.5 RPM, and you have from 5.5 to 10.5 for the fun part. So you need at least 4.5 RPM to shift to the next gear. So I generally shift in the 5.5 RPM range, and with those kind of shifting I'm getting around 30 kilometer per liter in the city condition. I'm from Bangalore, and you know that Bangalore is famous for their shitty traffic. And so yeah, I'm getting 30 here, and on highways I'm getting around 35. And sometimes if I ride relaxedly, that means if I don't rip the bike so much, I'll be getting 40 also. Now I'll just walk around the bike and give you some updates on the total review of the parts. So talking about the fairing, these fairings are really good. It doesn't vibrate at all. These are of good quality plastic. You see that it's more than a year, and the bike is feeling fresh and new now also. And now talking about the mirrors, these mirrors don't vibrate, and these are not stock mirrors. You can check out the video of this installation and the review of this mirror in another video. So the stock mirrors are really good. It provides good visibility, and that's about the mirrors. And these visors, it serves the purpose very well. Even at 140 km per hour, you can duck into the air pocket which has been created by this visor. And this bike comes with a Condigo tires, so I changed it to Michelin Pilot Street now. The thing is, because the Condigos are not meant for wet roads, and I do a lot of rain riding, so once it was around 13k kilometers, I just changed both of the tires to Michelin Pilot Street. And talking about the brakes, the braking power of this bike is absolutely well. This is an ABS version, so this has the right amount of braking capacity to stop this bike even from a speed of 140. Basically this bike can go till 140 very easily, and it can even go to 160 based on your body weight. So that's another factor which comes to play. But I personally will tell that don't take this bike to those extents of 160 or more than that, because in Indian roads you cannot predict anything. So that's the main reason. And now one another thing which I want to highlight on this bike is that the seat is well cushioned, and this is the best seat that I have ever seen on a under 300cc segment. And the pillion comfort is also very good in this bike. I have taken it to around 1000 kilometer ride a couple of times with the pillion. So when it comes to pillion also, you need to take it in a way that you are riding solo for around 1500 and more kilometer. So the pillion is also happy. Sitting on this bike for hours, around 8 hours of drive every day, which I was doing during my trip. I will tell that this bike is having the best pillion comfort among the bikes in the segment. And talking about the battery, till now I haven't changed the battery. It is going well. It is a stock battery, so no issues with the battery till now. This comes with the instrument cluster, which is very basic. It comes with a very basic instrument cluster. Yeah, I have done 18k kilometers, and it has a one trip meter and time, then the engine heat. It doesn't comes with a gear indicator. Basically I feel that a gear indicator is not required for a bike, because it's like kind of a music to me. Because for a musician, how you differentiate a major from a D minor, so that's how I feel like differentiating each gears. Like if you are hearing one particular sound from the engine, you should be able to make it out which gear it is and which RPM it is. That's how it is if you don't have a gear indicator. So now talking about the handling and the braking of the bike, generally people tell that it's a bit difficult to handle this bike in city traffic, but I'll tell that it's not so difficult. Once you're comfortable in riding this bike, yeah, it is very easy, because this bike has a slightly semi-sports touring kind of seating position, so it makes it a bit difficult to ride in the city other than the straightforward sitting posture of other bikes like KTM 200, Duke 200 or Mahindra Mojo. So it is a bit difficult and a tricky situation, but once you are used to the riding condition, it is very easy to ride this bike. Handling is so good. As I told, the braking power of this bike is very amazing. Now talking about the speed of the bike, this bike can go till 170, I guess. That's the top speed which I have seen in any photo or a video. Basically I have taken it to 150 plus speeds, but I don't recommend people to take it beyond 150. Till 140 it is a very smooth drive. The engine doesn't feel stressed or anything. Cruising between a speed of 90 to 120 km per hour is like an dream on this bike, because the bike doesn't feel like the engine is turned on. You just float and cruise the bike at in a speed of 90 to 120. From there onwards you will start feeling the engine sound. I don't say noise, but engine sound. Personally, a person who is very lean, they can take it to a speed of beyond 160, but personally I don't tell that don't take it to those kind of speeds. It's a bit risky to take this bike to those speeds. And one another thing is that if you want to shift to the 6th gear properly, you need to have a speed of 88 km/h. As I told, the ideal RPM to shift the gear is 5.5 RPM, 5.5 k, and this bike will reach a speed of 88 km/h on the 6th gear on 5.5 RPM. Now talking about the competitors of this bike, mainly I see competition from KTM RC200 and KTM Duke 200, Benelli TNT25 and Mahindra Mojo. The rest bikes I don't feel give a competition to this bike because of the build quality. First thing, so I don't take the Apache or the Pulsar into consideration, because this bike is very refined and built like a heavy sturdy steel machine. So when it comes to KTM 200, the KTM 200 is definitely more powerful than this bike. In the sense, the lower RPM ranges are very good in KTM bikes. So it can just zip through the traffic. You try to race with those bikes, CBR won't be able to catch up with those bikes so easily. But if you are an experienced rider on this bike, you definitely will be able to catch it up. And talking about Mahindra Mojo, I will tell that altogether Mahindra Mojo is a very good choice when you compare with the CBR250R. The reason is because it has more off-roading capabilities also, and it makes a good tourer also. The only one drawback which I see with that bike is that it's a kind of a street naked street bike, so it doesn't have the visor. So cruising in a speed of 120 to 140 for a long time won't be so good with that Mahindra Mojo, but on a CBR it will be very nice. And talking about TNT25, it doesn't comes with an ABS. That's one problem which I see with the bike, and you need to pay more. So CBR250R will be a better value for money machine when it compared to a TNT25. Now let me answer you the most frequent question which has been asked to me through my channel, whether this makes a beginner bike or not. I will tell that if you are an absolute beginner, you don't know how to ride a bike, then I will tell that this is not a perfect beginner bike, because when you are learning a bike, you need to learn few things. Rather than jumping onto a 250cc bike, I will tell that you just swing your legs onto a 150cc bike or a 100cc scooter and learn the traffic, learn the behavior of the traffic, and come back to this machine. And if you are a person who are riding a 100cc scooter or a 150cc bike for a small period of time, and you know the traffic which is there in the in your locality, and you know the behavior of the traffic, then I will tell that this is a perfect beginner bike. So that's the way I want to answer that question. So that's it, I'm winding up with this session. If you are having any doubts with this bike, you just put a comment in the comment section. I'll be helping you out, and if I don't know the answer, I'll just consult with my friends who are using this bike, and I will get back to you. So thank you for watching. Do like and subscribe. See you in my next video. Bye bye.